Hello, everybody. Welcome back to more Dead Space here on Arbitrary Hero. My name is Tom. I'm here with Cameron and Hannah. If they want to sound off.
How's it going?
Hello. We are back with the ever rarer Dead Space, but we are back on the USM Valor, and Isaac's trying to find his way out of here. Or really, I'm
Yeah,
trying to get out of here without getting shocked to death.
what what chapter are we on again?
Yeah, so quick
8?
checkup on where we're at. We are on chapter 9, called Dead on
9.
Arrival. What we're trying to do is get the Singularity core off of the USM Valor, because that is enough power that can probably get us off of this ship. Because I believe by this point we realized that our SOS beacon didn't work because it brought this thing here, but you make do with what you can.
Yeah, so the SOS brought Marines in and they promptly got eaten, basically, right?
Yeah, essentially. Oh man, this room. Yeah, they basically all got eaten because we sent the escape pod that had his name escapes me, but this remake does a really good job of saying his name a lot. One of your original members that came to the Ishimura with you is out there. Hopefully my game volume is not too quiet. Nope. I guess we're gonna find out in a second. But yeah, we're hanging out. We're playing some Dead Space. This room is better than it was, but it still sucks. This room is awful, and we're about to discover why.
Okay.
Hannah, how has your week been? Since we haven't heard from you in a bit.
It's still busy, but it's going okay. I think since we got back from North Dakota. That's why. That's why. That guy looks like whatchamacallit?
Martin Scorsese.
No.
Damn, get him.
The
I'm sorry, Marty, but you're old as fuck.
The alien-looking thing in D&D that we fight.
Oh.
With the eye.
A beholder?
A beholder. Thank you.
Those little things look like beholders to you?
No. There was a big thing that I thought looked like a beholder a little bit.
I guess with like its arms and legs out, it kind of, they're very like,
interesting.
They spread all of their extremities out. I learned that they do that, like the classic necromorphs do, because the way that they're, damn it, the way that they're, these boys again.
Oh.
Sir?
Oh, that guy dashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that their joints like come back to life, so to speak, is by basically just getting rid of the joint entirely and just making it into a really strong, sharp stick.
Yeah.
NoobTube says sounds good. Yay, thanks NoobTube.
Thanks, NoobTube.
You were talking about North Dakota earlier.
Yeah.
North Dakota. Yeah. Talk about your trip.
Well, it was lovely seeing Nate and Abby. We had a ton of fun. It was too short of a trip. We both probably wanted to stay longer if we could.
Which is weird to say.
Yeah, but I think we were both pleasantly surprised. Neither of us had been to North Dakota, and we we probably, I mean, if it hadn't been for Nate and Abby, right, we probably would have never gone. But we did a little bit of hiking in Teddy Roosevelt National Park, and that was a lot of fun. That was really pretty. And Nate and Abby took us to a lot of really good restaurants. So shout out to Chara's in Bismarck, because that's by far the best taco I think I've ever had.
Really?
Really?
It was good. No doubt it was good. I don't know.
But like the best you've ever had, that's
a high bar.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously I've never been to Mexico, so I'm sure my mind will change when I have a handmade taco in Mexico one day. But yeah, the flavor was really great. I very much enjoyed it, and their margaritas kicked my ass.
Yeah, we did. We had a really. It was a real good mix, I think, of a lot of activities, but also a lot of chill time.
Yeah. And I think we also lucked out with we had fabulous weather, so we hit it at the sweet spot, right? It wasn't hot and humid, but obviously we got there before winter came, so we weren't snowed in anywhere. Which I didn't know that Nate and Abby showed us on the fire hydrants around the area that there's a big essentially like a big red pole that they put up kind of attached to the fire hydrant to be above it and to help mark where the fire hydrants are when it snows massive amounts of feet. So if the hydrant itself is buried in snow,
Yeah.
they can still find the fire hydrant if they should ever need to.
They are very equipped for the snow. That is for sure. I have only been there in the summer this past, well, I guess in May. I guess I count that as summer. But yeah, it was, I don't know, it's very nice. Like, it's definitely very, pretty flat in Bismarck itself.
Extremely flat.
Right. It reminds me very much of going to visit friends in Iowa. But it's, I don't know, it's got like its like quaint charm to it, and like any other smaller town. It's trying to like have more stuff going on, and like I really can't fault them for that. I think it's pretty good.
I mean, it still makes me wonder, like, why we as Americans way back when were like, yes, let's kick the indigenous people out of here because we willingly want to live here. That still has never made sense to me, but we do a lot of stupid shit as white people, so,
Oh, that's right. It all comes down to the same thing at the end of the day, which is there was a lot of money to be made.
It's the American way. Other people have stuff. No, they don't.
Maybe not anymore.
What was your favorite part of North
Finipo.
Dakota?
And Noob Tube, hello.
My favorite part. I do think, honestly, our first day hiking. Because it was just a good mix of hiking in different areas in the park, and we saw a lot of the wildlife, which was really cool to be able to see up close. And by up close, I mean in a vehicle. We weren't those idiots who walked up to a bison and were like, "Oh, kitty." It wasn't like that. It was that this thing can kill us. So
you don't want to do that.
We stayed safe, but it was cool to see bison up close, though. And
Really
I don't think
cool.
I would have ever. I mean, never in my life would I have ever thought, "Oh, I want to see a bison." But that was cool. So that was my. What about yours, Cameron?
I think I'd say the same thing. Seeing the animals up close was my favorite part also.
What was your favorite, Tom, when you were out there in May?
I think the animals too. If you guys went to Teddy Roosevelt as well, so you probably noticed all like the diversity of wildlife is pretty good there. I think that and just like the terrain was really cool. I've never been to the Grand Canyon or anything, so when I was out there, that was the first time I ever like seen like huge swaths of land that has like such like a huge like cavernous like area to it. Is like basically to me it's like it is a canyon. It is just a very specific like layout, and I don't know, that was really cool. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I will say it was neat too in looking at the canyons and the buttes, I guess, because they're not technically mountains, they're buttes. To see where water used to be so many years ago.
Like the water lines that you can see like in like the rings.
Yeah. That
Very
was cool.
Yeah, I liked that part a lot, and like I don't know, I don't mind like being in like more rural areas and stuff, just like seeing like what it's like to live in those areas, because you got to imagine like that's kind of how I feel about parts of West Virginia, and that's no shade on West Virginia by any means.
Oh, well,
I mean,
shade on West Virginia.
there are certain parts that I think could be better, but Huntington is fun. I like going to Huntington.
The whole state?
There are parts where I've enjoyed myself, but yeah, it's
Tom, you're so diplomatic and nice. I just fuck West Virginia. It's not a state that I ever want to visit.
yeah.
Fuck West Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't like going through there at night. That is for sure.
I
The
don't
last
like
time I
going
was there,
through
I
there-
drove back at 3 a.m. and that was
Oh God.
a time.
You just saw your life flash before your eyes. You're just praying your car's not gonna break down.
Honestly, the majority of the time, I was just thinking like, I know that people have like hotspots or like internet out here for those that use the internet, but I was just like, with how spread out everything is, I'm like, there's gotta be like, some of these houses look modern, but like it's like the only house I've seen in like 15, 20 miles, and I'm like, no way. There's no way I could live out here that far away from just people. Not even about like the internet, just about the people.
Agreed.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked Bismarck. I think it's like it's quaint. It's got like stuff to it. It's not West Virginia. That's another thing I guess I could say about it.
Definitely not.
But yeah, I think and Nate and Abby had that kind of thought too before they moved out there, was based on Nate's job prospects. That was kind of one of the only things they were gonna be only places they were gonna be able to go to. So it was kind of like, well, you know, make the most of it while you can. I think there's a story thing coming up here. That's kind of a payoff. So I'm gonna go ahead and...
Story time, everybody.
Ooh, look at that core. It's our friend Hammond. Hello, Hammond.
Someone get the door open.
He's on our side, right?
I think anyone's on our side.
You think so?
Shit.
It's Chen. That's his name, Chen.
Got him.
Hammond, you idiot.
Oh, Hammond.
Whoa! There he goes. He's not.
He just
on our
loves his
side.
buddy so much.
Why won't you love me, Hammond? Why won't you love me?
Damn.
Done.
Rip. Yeah, that I will say. I think that's a
R.I.P.
much better death scene than in the first game, or the first version of this game. The big like hulking brute with big arms just smashes him against a glass wall a bunch of times. And look at that.
Yeah, it's still. I don't know. It doesn't sit right for him to have seen everything he's seen at this point and not just shoot that dude in the face. Like, I get that he's your buddy.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. It is like, it's anticlimactic no matter what, and I don't know what else they could have done that wasn't like a wild departure from the original.
Yeah,
it has to die in this chapter, I think, in order for certain story elements to play out later.
I mean, to be fair, emotions can make people act irrational, even if the logic is and the facts have been presented to them again and again. Emotions
I
make
don't
people
understand.
act irrational.
I'm not sure what you mean, Hannah.
I know, because you have no emotion.
Hannah bot, I do not understand what you mean.
Yeah. Does not compute.
Here's my favorite nod to Metroid with no timers. I can just waltz through here as slow as I want. Which is great. Alright, so this place is gonna blow up because I took the core and everything's unstable, and it's like a big mech. You take out the core and things don't work anymore.
Yep. Sounds about right.
So what all did you guys do while you were out there? Was it mostly restaurants and hanging out?
Yeah, I'd say mostly restaurants and hiking. Our first night there was when we ate dinner. We had dinner at Chara's, and then the next morning we got up at the crack of dawn to make the drive to Teddy Roosevelt National Park. Pretty much hiked around there throughout the entire day. Came back, and I think we had dinner at Indian Clay Oven, but we didn't go out. We had it brought in. And we watched The Princess Diaries first. Okay, so our first night there, we watched The Princess Diaries because Cameron, the god-awful millennial that he is, had never ever seen The Princess Diaries.
I just didn't have a strong reason.
Because he has no culture. He has no millennial culture. So he never saw The Princess Diaries.
It came out in 2001. I was 12.
You were in 6th grade. I was in 7th.
I was 11.
Oh no, maybe you were in 7th and I was in 8th. No, I was in 7th. You were in 6th. Okay, anyway.
In 2001?
I was in 7th grade in 2001. Yes, Tom, I'm old.
I didn't listen.
Jesus.
All I was asking is if you were in 7th grade in 2001.
I was, because I'm a fucking old grandma, okay? We can't all be little youngins like yourself.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm young. I mean, yes, but internally, no.
Yeah, well, I feel you there. Yeah, so then yeah, the second day we were there is when we went to Teddy Roosevelt National Park and then came back home. Nate picked us up Indian food from Indian Clay Oven, which was pretty good.
Ooh, yeah, that I think we had that when
Yeah,
we
and
were
then
there. It was
we
very good.
and then we watched The Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement because Cameron wanted to watch the second one. So we did, and we all agreed that it very much could have been a Disney Channel movie instead of a theatrical film.
I was of the opinion.
As the first one at all.
I was of the opinion that it's about the same as the first one. I don't think it's. I don't think they're significantly different.
Well, opinions can be wrong.
Yeah, you can be wrong.
Right.
That's okay.
You can be wrong. That's
But
fine.
to say we all agree is.
I think we
not
all
true.
agreed that at least for the second one, it could have been a Disney Channel movie, like a made-for-TV movie, not a film.
In what way? What does that mean?
Well, because it was like, okay, so first off, you had all of these Disney Channel star Hoppins, and it was a lot more. It was a lot more musical-esque. So like there were a lot.
Oh God,
more
Isaac's
odd,
puking in his suit.
Yeah, a lot of spins.
odd like dance breaks and music breaks. And like Mia has, so she turns 21 right for her bachelorette party because it's a Disney film. She just invites a bunch of like all the other princesses of the world to come over to her home for a gigantic ass sleepover. And she's like one of the oldest girls, so like I don't know. It was just all very Disney Channel-esque of that time period. And
But isn't that the same thing that happened in the first one when
No.
the little girl in the first one she meets the little girls, the two girls on the street, and she autographs them, and they're like, "You're a princess." Like that's to me, that's the same thing.
I don't think so. There wasn't any like musical break in the first one. There weren't any Disney Channel stars that popped up for no fucking reason in the first one.
Okay. As someone who doesn't know who Disney Channel stars are, it's
Oh my God!
to me it's a non-issue.
Didn't you go to a wealthy school? Didn't your parents have cable? You had the Disney Channel.
Yeah, Cameron.
No,
all wealthy kids watched the Disney Channel growing up. Don't you know that?
One of the probably a big difference in our development, Hannah, is I did not watch very much TV when I was a kid.
Man, now that I was.
What is that? We're gonna have this discussion later on what that is supposed to mean, but
It
okay.
means that
He's
it sounds like
uncultured.
you watched a lot of TV and I did
throwing
not watch a
shade.
lot of TV.
Okay, well we weren't all Boy Scouts.
I was raised by
Fucking
TV.
Yeah.
Eagle Scout. Jesus.
I was raised by the streets.
Oh my God.
Streets.
And my parents. They were very loving parents. They
Yeah.
provided a wonderful home.
Walk with me down the street.
Yeah,
Very
they,
nice
they made sure I looked
God.
both ways before I crossed every time.
It's hard
Yeah.
out here.
Oh my God.
They hold a man back on these streets so I don't get hit by traffic.
Oh my God.
Parking raises $1 every year. You can survive.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna get over
But
here.
yeah, I don't know. My parents, we didn't have cable, I believe. So I basically was limited to,
You're one of
I could
those.
watch, I think, Fox or like PBS.
Oh, but that meant you got like Fox Kids and stuff, right?
Yeah, but my parents also like,
Oh.
I didn't watch a ton of, I got to watch cartoons Saturday morning before Taekwondo. I got 1 hour, I could watch 1 hour and I could pick which hour it was going to be. But that's the big reason, maybe one of the big reasons I got used to getting up early, because I started learning that if I get up earlier, the better TV shows, like the better cartoons were on.
Smart, I see.
So I
That's
had to get up
economical.
early enough to watch. I think it was like Power Rangers and Beetleborgs started at 8.
Oh, so that's like all the cartoons you need. That's a good combination. Also, hello, whoever has joined. I don't have Discord.
Black Knight.
Hey, Black
Black
Knight, what's
Knight.
up?
Welcome.
No, you
not
guys
much.
didn't watch. You didn't watch X-Men on Fox Kids.
Oh.
I watched the hell out of that show
What a
when I was a little
Banger theme song.
right?
One of the best.
I did watch X-Men. I liked X-Men a lot, but
Yeah.
I didn't get I had to pick and choose what I'd watch each week.
That's fair.
Mm.
I also, because you mentioned PBS, did either of you ever watch Wishbone? That
Yes.
was my jam.
It was one of those channels, like, I mostly watched Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, but it was one of those shows where, like, if I was, like, channel surfing, or for some reason, I couldn't find anything else to watch, or I didn't like what was on either of those channels, I would, like, go to Disney or go somewhere else and be like, here's a show I'll watch for, like, a couple days straight, and then never watch this channel again. So Wishbone was one of those for me, I think.
Wishbone was amazing.
What kind of dog is Wishbone?
He's a Jack Russell.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I wish that was one of the shows that was
Got a remake?
no, God no. But I just for the nostalgia aspect, I'd be okay if one of the streaming platforms, cough cough, Netflix, cough cough, Hulu, could offer to stream it just to like go back and rewatch it.
It's on YouTube.
Like kind of like what I did with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You know,
You can watch the complete series on YouTube.
Shut up! You
Really?
can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that. I mean, not tonight, but okay. Mission.
There's 122 segments, so not every segment had not every episode had the same number of segments, but it looks like 122 segments of show.
That's fine. I know, like after a few seasons, obviously, like I got older, so I stopped watching it, and I got involved more with school after school activities, and homework got harder and took a longer time, so I stopped watching it. But I know, like that wasn't a show that I watched up through the end of its like, finale, so I don't know kind of what stories they ended on or moved to. Because when I started watching it, it was a lot of the very much the Telltale classic stories. It's shaped for younger kids, so
What
it
was
was
the premise? Was it like a different, like a fairy tale
he-
every week, or like?
No, it was usually. I mean, for when I watched it, it was like classic works of literature, like
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I
like,
remember him with the Robin
like-
Hood costume.
yeah, like he did Robin Hood, Romeo and Juliet, Oliver Twist, Frankenstein. I think Faust was one. Yeah.
Okay.
Classic
Um,
literature.
Yeah.
So it looks like the very last thing they did was the very last episode was the histories.
What's my health?
By who?
Herodotus,
Oh.
Greece, the Trojan War, basically.
Was there like a through line like story in Wishbone?
It was
There?
just
There's a frame story where
Yeah, it was high school kids, and so whenever they were facing a problem or going on a little adventure, Wishbone would relate that to a classic story as well.
Okay.
Although truth be told, I really don't know what the hell happened that he related it to Faust or
I feel like
Frankenstein.
every episode starts out with Wishbone hanging out with his owner,
Yeah, Joe.
and Joe has some sort of
Joe.
problem, and Wishbone is trying to help Joe, but Wishbone's a fucking dog, so all he can do is like, in his head, he's like, I remember when these people had a similar problem. And he tells a story, and then the story's over, and Joe fixes the problem himself. Because again, Wishbone is a
remember.
fucking dog.
If only I had thumbs.
But it was a cute concept.
Kingdom
I
for
think my
thumbs.
favorite story that he did was Homer's The Odyssey. And it was just really cute seeing him dressed up in
A little toga.
little toga and Trojan War, not Trojan War, but Greek War gear.
Does he get to like outsmart the Cyclops and stuff by saying his name is
I
nobody?
you know what? I don't know if I remember him doing the Cyclops or not. I
I would
clearly
assume
I'd have to
probably
rewatch
not.
it. I don't remember the Cyclops. But I remember whenever like he had to shoot the arrow at the end to win his wife back. It's just his little paw like barely touching the arrow, right? It's probably CGI. But and then anytime there was a romantic scene, if you ever had to kiss someone, obviously they wouldn't kiss, so it would just be the girl giving him a little doggy treat.
Aw.
Which was really cute.
Skater Boy, no. I'm not going for the handgun only achievement. I already did that. I did that on the first one in 2009, and I did it again on this one already, like back to back with my first run. But that's actually good to know. I did not know that using stasis against the monster caused you to fail the achievement. I don't know if I knew that back then either, actually, which is wild. That means I went through a whole playthrough.
You just didn't do
stasis. Yeah. Shit. And one gun was my second playthrough. It was not like my third or fourth. It was like I have enough that I think I filled out the node chart for, or mostly for that gun in that playthrough. Oh, if it does, I don't think so. I think it's if you fire any weapon that isn't the gun, that isn't the plasma cutter, it like shuts off that achievement for the rest of that playthrough, and until you start like the next one or a new one, it will lock you out. I don't think stasis, and I don't think kinesis does. I think it's just other guns basically.
Okay, so let's see. The
yeah, Noob
question
almost
is,
done.
what counts for the one gun achievement?
Yeah.
Um,
Noob, that'll be my plan as like my backup game, even if I finish it off stream. It's the year of the mech, baby. You gotta play with those mechs.
Year of the mech.
Gotta have games that are about bodies.
I mean, we've only really had one game about one good game about mechs this year.
Yeah, I should specify Black Knight. It's the year of the mech for me, which is also every year. But this is the year I guess I did watch through. I finished a Gundam series, and I'm playing through Armored Core. Played Lancer. I haven't played any BattleTech yet this year. I should
fair.
do that.
Apparently, kinesis, explosive barrels, exploding arms, the prototype stasis module, the ADS cannons, and picking up but never equipping other weapons are all fine.
Okay,
but
so yeah.
the game will drop ammo for whatever weapons that you have picked up. So
Right.
the advice is not to pick up other weapons so that the game is forced to only drop plasma cutter ammo for
Exactly, and that is why I only carry. If you'll notice through most of this game, I only ever carry 3 weapons, and that's just like it's just like for the sake of having like 3. Although it keeps giving me the pulse rifle ammo anyway, which is like kind of annoying. I don't really need it. I'm just gonna sell it. I'm not even storing it for other playthroughs. But yeah, it should still be that the only guns you have equipped, or at least in your inventory, are the ones that you will get dropped ammo for. It's kind of like a Metroid thing where they only give you the supplies you need, and that is very useful. Is that for a second I thought this was a penguin.
Black Knight, it's been a minute since you've been on stream. How is school and everything
how's
going?
school doing?
It's going all right. Some concepts I don't understand, some I do. So, it's what it is.
That's real. I get that feeling.
Hi, Mega Stuff.
Yeah, Skater Boy, is your name a reference to the
No, it's
Avril
spelled
Lavigne
wrong.
song of the
It's
early
spelled wrong.
2000s?
But God. What a classic.
Y'all heard the conspiracy theory that she's dead and like her friend is taking over for her, or like a double or something.
No.
I
That
forgot
Avril
what's true,
Lavigne
but-
is dead?
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely
that's
not
the
true.
theory anyway.
Yeah, that's the
No.
conspiracy theory. I'm curious. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of ridiculous stuff gets started on the internet, but I'm curious as to why that is a thing.
That's
Does her friend
absolutely
look a
not
lot
true.
like her?
Yeah, I think that's like what the oh yeah, content warning. Wow, we haven't had one of these in a while. The upcoming section contains depictions of suicide.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so I'll give you a couple seconds. I think that was like the theory was something like, yeah, like she like either hired someone to be like her double or something,
Oh my God.
and then like they became friends, and then like the rumor is she died, and that friend just took over to be her instead of it being her. But it's like, I highly doubt that.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, stupid.
I think my favorite text log used to be in this chapter. I wonder if I still have it.
Oh, look at those cool posters.
Which one, over here?
No, behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, those.
Yeah, I love the like detail they put into this, because like none of this, I don't even think it's supposed to be like a reference to anything that happens in the story. Like it's all like metal and horror and stuff, but it's just like random
That's
events
kind of
like
cool.
Titan Station. Oh, that's where you go in the second game. That is very cool. I did not realize that.
You go beyond. Oh, you go to Titan Station. You don't go beyond Metalfest.
No, I mean you probably do. You probably miss it by at least a few months. There's a bit of a time gap in between this and the next game.
Like
A
3
year?
I think
20 years?
Something like
Yeah, I
or
want to
3.
say it's like 2 or 3 years ish.
Oh, I have Skater Boy stuck in my head. Son of a.
Oh, I need a crew deck key card. That's what I'm doing.
NoobTube asks
That's right.
if anyone read.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it.
I don't know. I
Um,
wasn't gonna try because I don't want to butcher it.
Is the last part just 8 meters?
I think it might be.
I'm gonna take a look. Again, I'm gonna butcher it. Cherry no koi wa 8 meters, I think.
That's very American
what is
of you.
this translation? Okay, Cherry's a name. Cherry's love is 8 meters tall. It has a picture of. I'm looking at the cover. This is a manga. This
yeah, NoobTube,
doesn't
what is
look
it
like
on?
it's pornography.
What is a reference for 8 meters for those who don't follow
around
them?
25 feet.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the cover is, it looks like a normal looking dude with his girlfriend who is a giant. But she's like here, I'm going to just copy and paste the image. She's like not like a ogre giant, she's just like a 25-foot tall schoolgirl is what I'm looking at here.
Too tall, too furious.
Yeah. And I'm looking. So NoobTube, no, have not read it. Looking through it now, it looks like it's kind of a rom-com, like a situational comedy where she's massive for no explanation, but like funny things are happening because she's so big. That's cute. Is that like the hot new manga that's out right now? I'll admit I have not been paying attention. I haven't really been reading any manga, or I haven't watched any of the new anime for the past, it feels like for the past few years.
I feel like you and I kind of stopped watching. Well, I don't want to speak for you. I stopped watching. I think the last like true anime I saw, if you want to call it that, was Castlevania. Would you call Castlevania anime?
I think
no,
so.
because it's Americanized.
I mean, it's a Western for sure.
Western, sorry.
But
I'd call it anime.
Yeah, I love Castlevania, so I'm biased. I think it's.
I do
Bring
too.
on the hate, internet.
But that was I think that was the
Why am
last
I just standing here?
anime show that I watched.
Which season? The next series of Castlevania is coming out end of the month.
Yeah, it is. Yep. I'm super hyped.
It'll be
gonna
good.
Be good. It's about Richter, who was cool.
Someone was talking to me about it at work, and they're like, I don't recognize any of the characters from the show. And I said, that's because it's not called Trevor Mania. It's called Castlevania.
I don't
Oh
recognize
my
the
God.
castle.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it'll be really good.
Maybe
And
we'll
then
play a
Okay.
quick round
I
of
know
basketball.
there's a Netflix show now, right? Or maybe it's Amazon called One Piece, and that's based on an anime or based on a
Yeah.
That's based on One Piece.
okay.
Hi, Moonlight. How's
Hi,
it going?
Moonlight.
Just so you know, we are streaming. Totally fine for you to join us, but I don't want you to not realize that you are being broadcast to the
Hello,
world.
Moonlight. Yeah, we
Not that
are
they talk
streaming
much.
currently. Just so I mean, you can still hang out in the chat and you can talk if you want, but if you don't feel like doing it,
Yeah, no pressure.
just yeah.
Moonlight,
Fucking
do
dog.
you know the
Heads
song Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne?
Why are they not lighting up?
The cats are messing. They're not
There
messing
you
with
go.
Ollie, but they're annoying. They're annoying Ollie, and he's giving me a dirty look right now.
Are you sure it's not the other goal?
Hmm. Oh, I
What
think
is-
it's just like from
Is this
more
a
points.
puzzle?
No, it's literally just basketball.
Oh,
It
Okay.
used to be in the old game. You could only like in zero gravity. You were always stuck to a surface, but you could like rocket yourself from one surface to the other. And in this one, since you're just free floating, I guess they just give you like a bunch of basketballs, and you can just free float here. It's not particularly hard. God damn it. Definitely not gonna get however many points I need, but
So what? Oh, yeah, not in this house. What? You get enough points, you get to unlock what?
I think it gives you maybe like a node upgrade and then like credits. I think it's one of those things where a certain amount of there's like a bunch of lockers in the room behind me, and if you get like a certain amount of points, they unlock like certain tiers or something. So it's like there's a shooting gallery that works kind of a similar way too. Oh, that's terrible. So it's like ammo for some, it's credits for others.
Oh, so this is not how you unlock the basketball shorts costume.
No, although I wish there was.
Just
I
walking around in like 70s basketball shorts.
If I could wear some of the Phoenix Suns away jerseys in this game, I would pay DLC for that. I would totally do that. What got it going?
That's what's our girlfriend's name again?
Oh.
Nicole.
What the fuck was that? Did anyone else just see that thing fly at me? The corpse? Yeah, Nicole Brennan.
We gotta use the shorts. Show Nicole what she's missing.
Oh,
Ben short. Boo.
Well, that's fine.
Oh,
I just want
who
to see
did
if I
we
can get some
lose?
extra ammo because I've got some now. I got some money too, but I gotta waste it on armor upgrades and gun upgrades so I can survive longer. Yeah, so like here, it opened up 4 of these little locker things, and they just gave me like some ammo and some money. But it's fun. I think it's better than the old one. The old one was just kind of like obnoxious and more stressful.
Yeah.
I
do
thought
like-
for a second it was like, do you guys remember that? Oh, I just keep throwing it back. Do you guys remember that old game Simon Says, that animatronic, and you press the buttons in the different?
Yeah, like based on like the
different
real
colors?
life game, Simon Says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought you were doing before with. The
Oh yeah,
basketball.
No.
it's confusing because like they call it 0G basketball, and I'm like, so is it like this weird like fucked up 0G Quidditch thing where someone has to defend against all 4 goals? Like how does that work? But I guess it's supposed to be more of like a shooting, like literal like basketball shooting range or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, Devil Joe, I could waste a lot of time on that one, but I'm not gonna do that because we're here to see some stuff get torn apart. Although maybe I'll come back as a bonus. Maybe I'll make a separate save file just for basketball. First,
Ugh.
let's do this efficiently so I don't. Speaking of efficiently. Oh, there's fucking
Get 'em.
2? Shoes untied.
So gross.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
that's
exploded
bad.
anyway.
We need Dr. Pimple Popper over here.
Do you watch those videos?
No,
Get
I
off.
don't. It's a whole show now, but I don't watch that.
Like a TV show?
Yeah, she's on.
Yeah,
She
it's
made it big.
awful.
She's
I
on
hate that stuff.
TLC.
I dated someone a while ago who liked those, and I was like, I don't understand. I get like the gross out stuff, but like the appeal of this is just awful. It's both like medical, like the lancing and stuff. I'm like, ugh, I don't get it.
I hear you there.
And I like stuff like necromorphs. I think gore can be cool, but like that stuff is just like, that's like sit here and watch this. It's just torture porn. It's ugh,
I like
can't
watching like
Oh, ew.
cow hooves and
Yeah, I don't get that. But
horse hooves get cleaned,
If
but I'm
you-
not a
that's your thing.
pimple
I
on
think
people's
that's kinda
faces
gross.
kind of guy.
Yeah. The stuff that's like kind of like just like, I don't know, I feel like if it hits like a certain level of like gross or extreme, it's a little bit like easier to deal with. When it's just like that, it's like almost clinical. And something about it being
Yeah.
clinical is almost worse.
Oh, interesting.
There's a through line. God. I'll quit.
I don't know if we've talked about it yet, but we do have our next charity effort underway. And we're going to start in earnest this weekend, but we're going to do a one-day event on October 14th. The Arbitrary Hero team is teaming up with the Haslaj Net team to do a dual stream on October 14th. You're going to be playing a bunch of, I think, Nintendo Switch Online games against each other, raising money for One Up on Cancer, which is a charity that helps people deal with the costs of medical care when they have cancer by basically just paying for it.
Content warning, real quick for anyone.
Oh, yeah.
you,
So
content
if you
Traffic
don't,
death by gunshot.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I know what this one is. This is one of the new ones, Black Knight.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
With, I think Kine.
yeah.
we will have a big raffle prize that'll be announced this weekend. So keep an
Oh.
eye out.
Yeah, that is this one. I didn't realize who you were yet.
Yeah. But yeah, we are doing that. I think you said the official announcement's on Saturday, right, Cam?
Yeah, I basically need to put a video together. I figure I'll do that on Friday.
You're not gonna hurt anyone else.
Can everyone hear the dialogue? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's Temple
With the nail gun.
on the derelict ship.
Denied convergence thanks to this ingrate.
Mercer, wait. Tell me,
Mega stuff. What are you doing, little girl?
what is convergence?
It's my favorite metal band, Isaac.
Dead and living.
They rule so fucking hard.
All
I just wanted to kill the entire population of this ship because I love them so much.
Yeah, no one understands them like I do.
They're like Death Clock, but just less,
Oh my
you know,
God.
death.
This is actually funny. We were while we were in North Dakota, we were
Dakota.
talking about Nate, Abby, Hannah, and I were having conversation about just generalities of religion and the different risks involved with different religious upbringings and things like that.
Your marker can go to hell.
It was some deep conversations, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Are you trying to decide if God is a cat or a dog?
Oh, if God's real, God's a cat. Actually, God is a cat because that way God can be Schrodinger's cat.
I guess, yeah, Egypt would be right about that.
Yeah. But I was mostly just like, we were having a very similar conversation to what was
It's our
happening in this
buddy.
game. That when people use religion to manipulate other people, all shit.
Yeah,
Dr.
our-
Mercer
so
used
yeah, to sum up that cutscene, Dr. Mercer, the crazy one, killed Kine. Or not
A
Kine,
true
killed Temple.
believer.
And Temple is the other engineer who was the husband of Dr. Cross, who I think is dead.
Aw.
She helped us get out of hydroponics, I believe. What's the next one? Shut up, I didn't ask. Yeah, and so, yeah, Temple is now dead. And Mercer was trying to convince us to work with him since we seem to be so good at evading death and causing death. Which,
Yeah.
ouch. Like, you know, not trying to.
It just happens.
Yeah, you know. Is he invulnerable when he heals? Fuck.
You
Where is the
bastard.
next one? Where is the next one?
They killed Kenny.
Wait, did you say they killed Kenny?
Yes.
Oh. Right, let's... a little more permanent down here. This is
What was I doing?
becoming annoying.
Black Knight, what classes are you taking?
I'm taking meteorology, intro to networking, introductory statistics,
That's a fun one.
and yes,
My intro networking was
foundation of IT.
one thing.
Nice.
I liked the fundamentals or foundation class. I thought that was kind of a good overview of like, here's all the stuff you can do with computers and tech in general.
Yeah. I also
Yeah,
got
it's
Baldur's
pretty
Gate a
fun.
couple weeks ago. That's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I've
Oh,
been seeing you
nice.
playing that. Yeah. And yeah, content. Ooh, that's a nice objective. It's in Unitologist. I can't read it.
Wait.
Mega stuff. Can you leave Ollie alone, please?
I think she can still climb back up onto the top shelves. I feel I saw something knocked down recently that makes me think she can get up there.
Yeah, I don't think it's often, but I think she will make the leap if she tries hard enough. But she has to really want it.
Another content warning, just as a heads up. Yeah, I think Midna's at the age where there are things she could leap on. There's not like a lot of tall stuff for her besides like our kitchen cabinets, and those are pretty safe. But there's not a whole lot of stuff that she's like super gung ho about, like trying to get on top of. She's chilled out too much, so I.
How old is Minda?
She is 7. She is a little over about 7.5 years old now.
Oh, damn. So we got like 5 more years of this shit.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, who knows? It's Midna. She'll live on forever on the plane of torment. She'll be the next Diablo DLC boss.
Your cat.
Oh yeah. She just looks angry a lot. And she's very picky about how she is pet and for how long.
So what you're saying is she's a cat.
Yeah. Oh, you fucks. There's gonna be like fucking 3 of you, isn't there?
Oh, these like Slender Man looking motherfuckers.
I don't like that. Mm-mm.
Bye. I hate this part a lot. This is like one of those enemies where having the flamethrower is actually nice. Now that it's like not as bad as it used to be, I think. Oh. Wait, yeah, I've got the contact beam.
Do it.
Going back. I'm really off topic. I have no idea what we were talking about before.
Your cat.
Yes, yeah. Midna is the Doom Queen. Doom Cat, depending on your preferred nickname. Jesus Christ, how many of these things? Well, that's all, folks.
Hi, Francis. I don't have any food here, buddy.
Stop. That's okay. I'm gonna die.
No,
You got it. You got it.
No, there's too many, and they're not letting me get past.
Oh.
Yeah,
Step up. Don't do it.
I think I need to use the secondary
Thank
fire
you.
on the contact beam, like
Hannah, what's
immediately.
going on over there?
Or actually,
I can hear you.
She was looking to
I have
do
an
the
idea.
leap from the windowsill to your D12 shelf, and I was trying to prevent her from doing so.
Gotcha.
I'll try to remember to mute myself next time. I apologize. I was
Ah,
just
all the way here.
thinking in the moment.
Oh,
Fuck.
that's quite a
Ooh.
ways back.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
big
fine.
boy.
I'll speed it up.
That is a big
Maybe you should have
old
left one open.
Chumbawamba.
Do you say that's a big old Oompa Loompa?
Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba.
You know.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite. God damn it. I
What
was...
a Dems.
Oh, that's right. This is the one where every node is like a different room. All right, excuse me. Let's go. Bye.
Where are you, Tom, in the final season of Reservation Dogs?
I'm caught up now.
You're caught up? Okay.
Yeah,
I
all
think
the
we're
way.
almost caught up.
I thought the last episode that came out was the end, and apparently there's 2 more. I did not realize that.
It felt like the one you watched was like a series finale.
Yeah, well, also because like I don't know if it's Hulu or certain streaming services do this thing where sometimes they'll show like all of the thumbnails for all the episodes, and then they just like show how they're like time locked as they come out. And for this one, it showed it as being the last thumbnail in the season. So I thought, oh, this must be the last episode of the season, and it's not.
Gotcha.
But it's good. I liking it a lot. I love that show so much. Such a good show.
We're on the episode where Cheese gets taken fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So you're really
I
close.
think we're not
to
that
where
far behind. Yeah.
That is a good one. I love how he just like doesn't know that much about like fishing, because that I sympathize with that, and also I like that it's one of those things where it's not just him not knowing things, it's also like, wow, for a bunch of old dudes who claim to know like the facts of life, you're missing a lot of stuff.
I think that's been a recurring theme of the show.
Yeah.
Is that like the elders are also figuring things out.
Right, and that no one really has the answers to everything, but that's also why for indigenous people they do have their some of them have the ability to see spirits, and that allows them to have like an extra hand in life.
Yeah.
I think I've got enough for this. Not what I needed. Whatever.
Apparently someone built a Gundam in Tears of the Kingdom.
In Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah,
Huh.
well, I guess I wouldn't call it a Gundam. It looks more like a Gelgoog.
Oh, that's like the Zaku offshoot, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I don't.
Gelgoog.
I'm trying to.
Or the Akai or whatever, the weird amphibious one that's like actually pretty good.
Yeah. That is nuts.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I've seen people build like mechs and stuff all like early on, but that's a new level if they're getting like accurate to actual like mech designs. Alright, I'm gonna save here. I figured I'm just gonna skip the tall boys.
It's just impressive, like, because it doesn't feel like the Tears of the Kingdom obviously has building tools, but it's not like super generic building tools. So what people can do with the pieces that they have been given is always really impressive to me.
Yeah, it's not like it's enough that you can put things on like certain like access like connector points and stuff like that. And yeah, like there's like a green tint to everything, but they do a pretty good job of like using a lot of basic shapes to make stuff. I always kind of thought, oh, they're gonna get more complicated because they got like fire hydrants and stuff, but not really. Like, there are some like complex zonai devices, but the materials themselves are pretty much, you know, just wood, stone, and
Yeah.
the occasional other thing. Chairs. Actually, I'm gonna scan this room for stuff. Here's a little hologram of Mercer, I believe, giving some kind of or is this Mercer? Maybe this is
The original Egyptologist?
I was gonna say in the original game, he's giving a much more desperate speech by the end of it. And that doesn't really seem like it was. I guess it'll come up with the text in a second. No, the original unitologist is, well, technically it's Michael Altman. Though if he were alive, he would not say that. In fact, he'd be very mad if you said that.
Yeah, unitology was something that they hijacked what Altman was saying for other purposes, right?
Yeah, I've read, so the book Dead Space Smarter is essentially the start of unitology, sort of. It's the start of it as far as like humans know. I guess I can give the brief synopsis unless anyone else has something to talk about. Yeah, I was gonna say
Spoilers for a old
God.
video game franchise.
Yeah, it is.
You've been warned now.
Well, yeah,
Hannah,
and
do you care about spoilers?
No.
it's
Snape kills
it's just about how
Dumbledore.
we get to the point we're at now, anyway. And for reference, for anyone who is watching that is a Dead Space fan, I have not played 3, and I know that 3 explains a lot more. That I have like some brief ideas of. Oh, fuck. This is gonna be something I have to.
What's this green stuff?
It's like this like toxic, like gas, I think.
Okay.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to probably get either oxygen or get out of here.
Ooh.
Yeah, this isn't great.
Basically, the
Don't like
necromorphs, Hannah, they ate a lot of protein powder.
Yeah,
Oh my
like a
God.
lot of protein powder.
This is the
Okay.
result. Sometimes you got to make nasal sacrifices for them gains.
Oh my
Sometimes, yeah, you really do.
God. Gross.
I actually wouldn't know. I don't really use protein powder that often. Really fucking. Oh my god. It's like having a mice problem. They just won't go away, but I don't want to kill them. Now I have to. Yeah. So like the
Well, it's not about
basics.
not killing them. You just don't want to spend the ammo. You'd
Yeah,
love to kill
exactly.
them for
It's
free.
more, yeah. If I was a much crueler human being, it'd be about that. The basic like story of like where unitology comes from, at least the way that Martyr tells it, is like I think it's like 100 maybe years, maybe a little bit more or less. But it's like around the time where like the Ishimura and like the CEC and all that is still like a thing. Like they exist. Oh, fuck, I want to get out of here, aren't I? Excuse me, bye. I don't care about any of the extras. Michael Altman is like a geologist, but specifically works with like ground fissures and like what the. I can say I spiked him real good, and he's working on near some site. I guess like not for the CEC, but some other like research company. But like rig technology and stuff's still around, and he's a geologist who's like monitoring like vibrations in this place called the Chicxulub crater. Chicxulub is like I believe Spanish or Latin
It's
for two.
in the Yucatan. It's
Yeah,
it's the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs.
yeah, the asteroid that wipes out the dinosaurs, and so he's stationed at some lab near this crater, and he finds some weird readings, and he basically discovers like the first marker, which is the black marker, not the one in this one, but the red one that you see in the second game. And he like finds out like all those like weird readings, and he reports on it, and like people think it's a huge deal, so like they start to like make like I think they like make expeditions to it, to go like find out like what is the bottom of this crater. I think it's submerged in water, and so like he starts finding out like more like weird stuff about it, and essentially the government like ramps up all their research for it to go like find out what the marker is, and then as people get closer in these submersibles, they like go insane because what the marker does. They figure out that the wavelengths of this thing is designed to like make human beings hallucinate and see dead relatives and essentially go crazy. And the whole thing is essentially a government like cover up. Some of the people that he ends up like working with, like the military takes over the research by force, basically explained to him that like we or maybe it's the red marker that's manufactured, but he's basically like we're taking over this research, and like you basically just found like one of the best bioweapons of all time, because it's not a nuke, it's not like Geneva Convention breaking technically, it's something that will turn human beings into like these fanatical cultists or creatures at the very worst.
In the future of Dead Space, Hannah, no one ever played the Resident Evil games,
Where's the power
so they
box?
had no idea how much of a bad idea this was.
Yeah. And this is also
Oh,
like this
okay.
is after the CEC and like the Ishimura, all this stuff. Like it's very corporatized. Everything is still like capitalism wins in space, basically. And where the fuck is this power thing?
It's
By
been
the
inside you the whole time.
right. So Michael like fights as hard as he can to be like a whistleblower and basically be like, hey, like the government knows about this and they plan on using it. They're not trying to stop it or like contain it for research. They're trying to use it like against people. And they end up like fuck, am I over here? Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Bye. Sorry, I love doing it. Follows. I gotta go. And so basically it becomes like it's known that yeah the government's trying to do it, and by the very end of the thing they capture him, they put him in a pit with a necromorph, who will like eventually eviscerate him, obviously, which confirms one of like his horrible nightmares he has at the beginning of the book. But by the end of it, the interesting part is when the two government guys that are explaining to him like yeah, we basically tricked you into doing all this shit because now we're gonna use this as a weapon. They explain that like yeah we know that people make a cult around this and that it's like totally bullshit, or at least we think. And by the end of the book you can't really tell if they are really using it to manipulate people or if they actually believe in it themselves. So there's kind of this element of like as time goes on there is like a government force that understands what the marker is and that it's basically like yeah we're going to sacrifice our own people to get money and power and rule the world, but also eventually we're all going to succumb to it anyway. And the fact that they kind of begin to know that as time goes on, they just don't care. They will just like give into the religion at some point. And so they're like, yeah, but you get money and power on the way up, so isn't that good? And it's yeah, it's bad. That's my quick retelling of the story. I realized halfway through I forgot most of the middle parts of that book, but essentially it's a much slower burn than Dead Space. It's them gradually finding out like the properties of the marker and necromorphs over time. And it takes them like a really weirdly long time to like see the signs and realize how fucked up it is. Almost like, the classic they haven't watched horror movies or like they don't really understand OSHA violations that much. But like a lot of the researchers like figure that shit out, but the military people who are supposed to be on guard duty are like, shut up, nerd. We don't care.
Shut up, nerd.
So yeah, unitology was technically that's the part. I'm terrible at telling stories. They use Michael Altman as a symbol of martyrdom. They say, yeah, you're the guy that found this, so we are going to start crafting this religion around you. And like that's why you hear the phrase Altman be praised a lot, is because they made him the poster child for unitology, even though he was like, I didn't want any of this shit to happen. Why are you trying to make me out to be this guy? And they are like, yeah, because now no one will believe you. Yeah. You're useful. You did discover it. You actually do know about it. It clearly talks to you because you've reported that. And if you try to, get us, get our whole operation shut down, no one's going to believe you. So
and
you've given us a golden egg.
Tom, I never read the book, but I always had the suspicion that the religion around the markers is one of the markers' tools. So, Hannah, I don't want to spoil it, but the markers are almost
spoil it. I'm not gonna read it.
sentient in their own way. Like they have, it's like maybe it's sentient's not the right word because it's not like Mass Effect, but essentially the markers are sending out malicious code to sentient life forms.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And-
Yeah.
And it's
Sapience is thinking. Sentient is like emotional.
One is thinking, one's recognition.
so they're essentially like hacking the bodies and the minds of anyone who gets infected by them. That gives them the potential to become necromorphs with the little implanters things, and gives them the hallucinations and things that'll incentivize them to kill themselves, which is kind of what happened here.
Okay.
So the reason the markers are doing this is essentially there's and I think it happens at the end of this game, so I don't want to say it. But they're trying to kill enough people to amass enough necromorphs, enough raw biomass to do something. And I thought that the religion, like, it's something that was founded by people, but the ideas are like kind of implanted in people as a way for the marker to keep doing what it wants to do. Did the book kind of confirm that, Tom, or not really?
It doesn't. It doesn't really talk about it. It kind of it more positions it as like humans made the religion because like that's what humans do. I think they kind of give hints at like yeah, like no matter what the species is, it just tries to give it whatever like mental or like close to mental link that like the sapient creatures nearby have. They try to like use them to communicate it, and that is like that's like the corruption of the brain. But I don't. It doesn't really. They don't talk about the fact that it's like designed to do it. They just talk about the fact that it's able to like transmit thoughts and like speak through code basically because it like works with this like any like sapient DNA, but it doesn't actually talk about the like the survival mechanism. It starts to hint at it, and in the fact of like when you get within a certain field of it, necromorphs can't touch you. Which is an interesting like thing because like yeah, it makes a little safety net, but it's also like maybe that like the code it transmits is only effective at certain ranges, and then within it, kind of get this little bubble of like peace. But it sets up like the whole human aspect, and then it kind of hints at the fact that like the marker is like it still leaves it like a big unknown. Like by the end of it, you can't tell if it's like was it like you know gray-headed aliens who look like us that made it? Are the aliens themselves like made of this stuff? Like it doesn't really describe like their forms, and it leaves it very alien on purpose. It's almost like The Thing. Like it doesn't really describe like you know civilization like we expect like aliens, like the moment where one crowd meets another crowd. It's more of like aliens in this case are microbes that are very good at ganging up and taking over organic tissue, and then whatever form they have there, that's like their physical form.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's very much like what I love about Dead Space is they describe it at parts. They describe more of the aliens, but it's never like they never give it like a fully like recognized face. Like the necromorphs have all shapes and sizes, and it's always kind of this like you know amalgamating mass of flesh, but also it's about it's about like how it spreads through like the mental part too. So it's very much like a two-front war of and you know enabling bodies and enabling minds, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm
and
half distracted.
In the purposes of the fiction, it's not like super important. The fine details is not like the point and the theme of the game.
It's not,
So
but it's like I like to dig into that stuff because the people that worked on the story for this game did a lot of good work.
I was just saying that I guess my intention was not that there's anything wrong with digging into it. It's just that the some stuff is kept vague on purpose because it like adds to the mystery and horror aspect of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh. Well, she's gone.
Oh, did you mean to do that?
No, that automatically happens. You can't hurt I want to say innocent people, but if there's any like surviving humans who haven't been morphed, you can't shoot them. It just like it makes your marker go green and then it doesn't fire. But yeah, I think it's why I like that part of Dead Space is like it's there. It's kind of like the same thing with Dark Souls and FromSoft games. It's there if you want to dig into it, but it's not like super important. But they do a good job of like the same thing I think It Follows does, which is like It Follows describes like a myth or like you know a folklore like legend, and it has some like physical form, but they never really like bother to like they don't talk about the origin story. They don't really talk about the like what does it want, where is it coming to, or whatever. It's just the idea that like yeah, this thing could exist, and we might never actually like know what the origin is. But even if something like Dead Space tries to get closer to it, there's always a sense of like yeah, but there's always like a missing element here.
Yeah,
that's good. Anyway, that's my half brain philosophical deep dive on the necromorphs.
Thanks for coming to Tom's TED Talk.
Yeah, thanks for coming to thanks for coming to my TED Talk, which is me whenever I open my mouth.
But if you all are interested in the original TED Talker, he was considered a bit of a rebel in his days. He felt
Really?
that you should give to the poor and help out where
Oh
he
my
can.
God.
He went by a little name called Jesus.
I'm embarrassed how long it took me to understand where you were going with that.
We saw.
Not anything.
Well, Hannah, what was that billboard we saw in North Dakota?
North
It
Dakota.
it was made to look like a TED Talk sign, and it said something like this is the only TED Talk you need, or
Yes.
something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is the only TED Talk you'll ever need.
Oh, so
Yeah.
And it
this is
was
inspired.
clearly like a pastor on it.
Yeah.
My mother, she's
Oh,
Octavia? How's she doing?
Oh, my brain Chromecast has decided to put on this show for me. Well, this is nice.
Yeah, what a
She killed my dad and herself.
this is a
What?
flashback to a conversation you were having with Nicole.
Yeah, this is like before the game starts. This is also new in the remake. They don't talk about
Yeah, I
his
was like,
parents.
I don't recognize
don't
this.
know,
Yeah.
I think.
So sorry. Fucking Angel's
Stop washing. Stop it. Just stop talking.
You gotta open up, dude.
Yeah, which I think Nicole does both. I think she's also registered for therapy and
Said
like
she would be better at home.
practitioner, like physician work.
You should not date your therapist, people.
Nope.
No.
You might as well have killed him yourself.
She was better.
Isaac
not date
clearly
your
in the wrong
therapist.
here.
You pushed me.
Yeah.
You know what?
What's up, Bodega Cat?
And this is why you two broke up.
Which I think not. I
I
don't
don't
know
know
if that's
that
the
there was
last thing
never a
he said to
reason
her.
given.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's the last thing he said to her. I don't remember. Actually, I don't even know if that is technically a real conversation.
It's me.
Right, because I mean,
It
it's
could-
all
it
a
could be.
hallucination.
Right, yeah. It's all a dream. Like Saint Elsewhere? What's the show that ends with the kid looking into the snow globe? Saint Elmo's Fire? I don't remember.
Saint Elsewhere, I think you're right.
I think that's it. I've never seen it. I
Never
just
saw that.
back in my
The
Wikipedia
whole
days.
show is the dream of a small child on the spectrum.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, really?
I've heard of it because the ending is like notorious, but I don't know like the context or what like the show. I think the show was like a soap opera. It just they decided that was going to be the ending for some
Yeah.
reason.
Did
It's
that
one of those I've seen
happen?
ripped on a bunch.
This
Did
is like
that
the
happen
70s.
Okay, so
or
I was gonna
80s.
say there's a show called The Bob Newhart Show, and that was like one of the first shows when the finale happened. That was one of the very first shows to be like, this was something that the guy dreamed up the whole time,
Mhm.
or was dreaming about the whole time.
Mm.
Like that show is what started the whole. It was just a dream.
The original Inception.
factor. Yeah, yeah.
Reanimated tissue, cellular immortality. I
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I understand
I guess really the whole stream is a TED Talk amongst all of us.
so many.
If there's a guy and his name is Ted and he's talking, is that always a TED Talk? Think about that one.
Learn how to communicate with them.
So yeah, this is just showing Dr. Mercer talking to Nicole, since they're both medical staff.
Mercer being a manipulative bastard.
Yeah, and Nicole trying to be the scientific one, and Mercer's like, nah, this is my bag. Marker is my deal. So yeah, Mercer is like telling us
Merker.
that
Merker.
Merker studying the Marcer.
Dr. Mercer. Dr. Marston. No relation to John. something else the book does, and like I think the first, maybe second game is good about this, is showing that like different people succumb to the marker in different ways, but also at like different severities and like speeds.
Yes.
So like Mercer is one of those who was very clearly like able to like hear it or influenced by it, even if it wasn't like immediate, even if it just like drove his actions like subconsciously. He lasted for a long time before. I don't know if he's dead yet in this. Well, spoiler: Mercer dies. That's not really. You could have predicted that. But some people are almost like immediate. There is a in the book, Michael is working with some other scientists, and they had this little like 2-man pod that will let them go all the way down into the near the bottom of the crater where the marker is. And so because they don't have any other like barotraumatic, I think that's the right word. They don't have many other vessels that can do this thing at like the temperature that they're in, because it's very hot water. They have to go down in 2-man crews, and Michael is volunteered to go in many of those expeditions. And on one such expedition, the guy next to him in the pod basically goes like insane. Like he had been having some like headaches and mental trouble ahead of time. There's one scene in which he just fully fucking loses it, and maybe it's a different guy, but whoever is in the pod with him like basically has to kill him. And he also, maybe it wasn't Michael, maybe it was someone else. Man, I'm really bad at telling stories, y'all. I'm sorry. But yeah, like in close proximity, when you're that close and you are not very strong, you will pretty much lose all of your marbles all at once. Just a bad game of Mousetrap immediately. Where the fuck is this tendril? This happened to me last time, I think. Do you remember where this one is, Black Knight? I don't remember. I think it's like...
No, it's like...
Oh.
Over there. Oh.
Ah, there it is. Okay. I keep walking by it because the glow comes at different like rates. Oh, it's you.
Yeah. He just doesn't give up. Hannah, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You've been watching Tom play this game for 8 live streams now.
Yep.
Isaac Clarke, dog or cat?
I think everyone in this game is a fucking cat.
Oh, interesting. What makes you say that?
It just...
Stop.
Everyone is doing their own thing. Everyone has their own personality. I don't know that there's anyone really loyal to someone like a dog would be. It's pretty much every man for himself. You're getting the bejesus scared out of you at every turn. And you're just fighting. I mean, you're just fighting to survive, literally. So it's kill or be killed, and I just think it's very much, you're not in a pack, so I think you're just very much a cat.
See, I think I tend to view video game protagonists as dogs, because essentially every video game, if you boil it down to the simplest level, almost every, I'll say AAA game, because not every game follows this format, but almost every AAA game is a game of fetch. It is an NPC telling you to go somewhere or get something or kill something.
Yeah, a MacGuffin, a very hero's journey.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to get something.
So because of that, I tend to view video game protagonists as dogs, because they are playing fetch. If that makes sense.
No.
I would also argue that Isaac would be a dog, because I do believe that he does have that dog in him, which is to me is pretty essential. Like if you got that,
he got that dog in him though.
Yeah, he got that dog in him. He really does.
I gotcha.
Maybe because I'm playing and I'm slowly muddling my way through this chapter.
No, that's fair. I see that. I'd be curious. Do you think that if they end up remaking 2 and 3, they'll end up making a 4? I feel like it wasn't finished as a story. It just got canceled.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, after 3, like, they could return to it and be like, all right, we're going to kind of return to form and do something closer to 1. But I think like if they were to do it, Dead Space is one of those premises that I think could go on forever. It's kind of like the old like horror like movie series that's
Like a Friday the 13th or
yeah,
something.
where like they could keep doing it forever if they really wanted to. It would just be like, all right, people are done, they're tired of it. Because like the necromorph thing can spread almost like I think forever. I don't know what happens at the end of 3, but I'm sure I would hope it's a little bit more final than that. Oh, you're losing audio?
Well, I was, but now you're back.
Oh, okay. Oh, this one describes planet cracking, which is very long, but it is very cool. Planet cracking is dope. But yeah, I don't know if they would do... Maybe they would. Visceral, I think, is gone.
Yeah.
I forget who does... Do you remember who does this remake, Black Knight? If it's like... the name of the studio?
Nope. Let
Okay.
me go look it up.
I feel like I should know, because I remember they dissolved Visceral like years ago, which
Yeah.
wasn't great.
And then it was. Let's find out.
But they could. I mean, I think they could do a 4. It would just have to be like... I don't know if it'll be very good.
Yeah.
Ooh. Forgot about this.
Motive. Motive is who developed it.
Motive, that's right. Yeah, so Motive did the remake. I don't know if they're like Bluepoint, where they specialize in mostly doing remakes and like contacting like some of the old story people about what changes to make, but they could. I think it's possible. I don't know if 4 would be.
Who
If they
owns
were
the
to do
rights?
it-
EA? EA does?
Yeah,
EA.
I think it's still EA. I assume that hasn't changed at all.
Some exec has to see the dollar signs that, like, how much money the remake sold. I bet. I guess they'll look at what remakes of 2 and 3 sell and then make a decision.
Yeah, I mean they could. I think 2. Someone made a good point in that 2 is kind of still. That game is over a decade old, but it's still kind of hit the plateau of like Moore's law for games graphics that I don't think it really needs a remake. Like I think it's still fine on its own.
Yeah.
But like yeah, they could do a 4. I think it would just have to be a certain team that does it. And I don't know what that team would be now, as more like I was talking about in the video game channel earlier. More and more studios are kind of getting absolved by other bigger companies, and some of them just go completely under, or they get repurposed for other games. But I wouldn't mind it. I don't know. Again, like I'm a big fan of like the deep lore kind of stuff with this. Just haven't engaged with it much recently, but like I would be down for it. I think. I would have to kind of like take it with a huge pile of salt until it proves to me that it's like, okay, this is a good successor. And if it ends up not being that, that's fine.
Yeah.
In a world where not a lot of, at least for movies at least, not a lot of remakes and like redos are usually very good or profitable.
They rarely justify themselves, I feel. I guess they gotta be profitable enough for people to keep doing it.
Yeah, oh for
But
sure.
I
I think video games have gotten really lucky recently. I mean, I got this game and Metroid Prime remaster in the same year, within the same 2-month span. So like, yeah, there's definitely there is still like an audience for this stuff. I do think that there is a little bit of like, well, I feel this way with like when people come up with new titles, especially where they're like, people will always want more of something like very soon after they like complete. At least for games, they'll complete a game and be like, "All right, when's the next one?" And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
you just got done making something. Like, I don't know that any studio is going to be prolific enough to give you something like brand new like every couple of months. I
Yeah.
hate these Armored ones.
It was surprising people were doing that about, like, Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm like, that is, like, hundreds of hours into that game. Like, I guess some people have more free time than we do.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. The people that are like online and public about it are the ones who, you know. I mean, there are people who understand who have the time for those types of games, but like, yeah, there's definitely like a very like large audience of people that are very like, a lot of people that play video games and keep up with like the big AAA titles can be entitled, and not all of them obviously. I'm talking about a subset, but like, yeah, it's very. Yeah, to me, I'm like, I don't have the time to even play all those, so I'm fine with that. I'm really just trying to kill this thing with the environment. Can you please just give me fucking... Thank you. Trip. What was I saying?
Video games.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, when it comes to stuff like this, the same people who have that same kind of entitlement about new titles kind of do that with remakes too. Or like, sometimes I feel this way about like Nintendo Directs, where someone will be like, well, we didn't get any news for like the fucking
Metroid Prime 4
Super
or
Shit Your Pants tennis franchise didn't get a new title this year. It's like, okay, I'm an Earthbound fan, and I'm biased because I think I don't really want any more Earthbound games, but also like you're only gonna have so much time and resources. Like even if it's Nintendo, they don't have like an individual team for every IP, and I think some people think that, like on like the lower end of the scale, but some people understand that and they're still just like, yeah, but they basically treat a lot of these bigger game studios, or at least the ones that have beloved IPs, as ones that are always capable of making the next title or like the next remake that they want. And in certain cases, like, yeah, there's reason. Like I think Half-Life 3 definitely could have been a thing. They just decided not to, and that, you know, that's their own decision. But for stuff that's like as soon as like Metroid Dread came out, then it was like, all right, when's 4 coming out? And I'm like, dude, they just said they were restarting that project like a year or two prior. They're not gonna be close to done within that amount of time. Yeah, I don't know. If they do a 4, more power to them. As long as they don't make it like 3 exactly, I think they'll be fine. Oh.
I think Camera stepped away, but he'll be back.
Oh, okay. So he didn't hear any of my long, impassioned speech that all one of people are listening to right now.
Is this a hologram or is this a real person?
I think he's real.
He's moving pretty slowly. Everyone in this game except you moves really slowly.
Yeah. When people are on the other side of glass from another human being, they decide to slowly saunter everywhere.
If we leave while the hive mind is active, well, you saw the valor. If even a single necromorph escapes humanity...
So this is the guy that contacted us a couple chapters ago and was saying he's also a survivor, but he's hiding out, but that he has a way off of the ship. So long as he works with, if Isaac works with him, he has a way out, essentially.
Okay.
We need the shuttle to return it to the planet. You have a singularity core.
Oh, so now you have to return this thing to its original planet?
Right. So their theory is, with their escape shuttle, if they can bring the marker, the big one that's on board the Ishimura causing all these problems, they can bring it back to the planet they got it from. It's supposed to appease this giant necromorph hive mind monster, and if they bring it back, they're hoping that it'll stop the signal from going out to all of these places where necromorphs have gotten to, essentially, hopefully killing or stopping the necromorph infection.
Sounds very convoluted, but okay.
I mean, there's been more to it, but we've been talking throughout this whole game, so there's no quick way to explain it. But yeah, it's very much kind of like a... They don't really explain a whole lot about... another note. A lot about like how it works. It's just kind of like a bunch of survivors that have an idea of like, well, we got nothing else. This guy's a science nerd, so we gotta trust him, I guess.
Trust in science? No.
Yeah. In space,
Never.
where I live. Let's see.
How's the rest of your week looking?
Not bad. I'm supposed to go to the Renaissance Festival on Sunday.
Oh, fun.
With some friends. Yeah, that'll be a fun time. I haven't gotten to hang out with them in a minute.
Are you gonna go with us when we go?
Yeah, no, I'm still planning on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
What's the theme? Is there a theme?
I think they're going for the Highland weekend.
Ah, okay.
That's not like that's not like a theme that I really care about that much, but they want to go, and I figured I'm gonna try to go a little bit more than I
Yeah.
usually do this year.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Once I find a save point, we can call it here. I'm just trying to
Oh, you're good.
find out where that is. Yeah, and then besides that, I don't think I've got a whole lot else going on. I think tomorrow I'm supposed to be doing, I think, something after work. I don't remember. That's pretty much it.
Nice.
Are you still mostly? Do you mostly work from home? I feel bad. I cannot remember.
Oh no, you're fine. No, I've been going back on site just because things have been ramping up so much as far as offers and just I think just recruiting in general. So I'm pretty much only working from home 1 day a week now, and I try to limit that to Fridays just because that's usually the most quiet
Oh yeah,
day for everyone.
that's what I do too. Just save it for Friday
So,
if I can.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not terrible. It's just everything's been busy and I'm working on trying to determine what is actually a priority and what isn't and where those priorities lie because it so often feels as though everyone wants or thinks their thing is a priority and that's just
Yeah.
not the
That's
case.
corporate jobs almost anywhere. It's always,
Yeah.
everyone's got different priorities that are trying to align. But I get that. That's why the 4,000 Weeks book has been helping me a lot, just to be like, you can't do everything, so just pick the few things you can, and the more you
Yeah.
do of the stuff you like, the more you'll do of it.
What book is this?
4,000. I thought I was talking about this during the Seattle trip, the 4,000 Weeks. It's like a
1,000 weeks.
yeah. It's kind of like the antithesis of like the self help books about getting more done with your day. It's all about how like most human beings only have 4,000 weeks to live, and if
Oh
you're
my
worried
God.
about like trying to like do as many things as possible in a day, you're not going to be able to. And if you do, you're just going to end up with more stuff on your to-do list after anyway because you never fully finish a to-do list. There's always something else.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's all about
Oh.
like basically like picking what to neglect, and then the things that you choose to neglect, like you're picking like what do I want to do more like right now, or like what is the thing that matters to me the most, right? The more personal it is, the easier it should be easier to make that choice, and also like you'll get to do more things instead of being like, oh, I really want to start this book series, but I'll just do it whenever I finish this project. It's like, well,
Huh.
you're just gonna have another project after, so
Interesting.
yeah, it's good.
I'll have to check this out.
Yeah, and it's not like a like throw your like life away, don't do anything ever kind of thing. It's more of like,
Yeah.
no, you can do things, just learn to set limits, and here's some philosophical reasons why. It's actually pretty funny too.
I like funny.
Yeah, it's good. It's been like a nice read where even if I don't absorb the whole chapter, because I have to reread stuff a lot, it's the kind of book where I'm like, well, that's the theme of the book anyway, so if I don't get it, I'll just go back and read it later maybe.
I like that.
Yeah, I think this is probably a good place to call it. I think Cameron's gone, but we're gonna go ahead and end it here for the night.
Cameron is gone.
He's gone. He's never coming back.
He's never coming back.
We're changing the name from Arbitrary Hero to I don't know, something else.
Hero.
In Arbitrary Hero, Unarbitrary Hero. I can tell I'm getting tired because my brain is off. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this Wednesday. Thank you to anyone who joined us in chat or was
Thanks,
is
everyone.
watching this as a video later.
It's good to be back.
It is, yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't actually know if I'll be able to do next Wednesday. Now that I think about it, I might just move
Okay.
it or stream on a different day.
That should be fine. I think for the most part. Sorry, let me pull up my calendar.
You're fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing this now because we might as well. But I think I've got something going on either because of work or after work next Wednesday. But after that, I'm free, and I'm gonna try to do more streaming on days. If I don't stream on my usual days or join a stream on my usual days, I'm gonna try to fill it on a different day by streaming something else. I might do some Armored Core or something.
I was
I'm
gonna
back.
say
What did
we
I
might
miss?
be
Oh, we're just ending.
we
Oh,
might
gotcha.
be able to do Thursday,
Okay, let me.
the 28th.
What are we talking about?
we're
When
streaming
we can
next.
do Dead Space next, because I believe next Wednesday I've got something going on. I don't know why we're doing that. We can talk more about it once we end stream. I don't want to make this
That's fine.
too
No
long of a
worries.
thing. But yeah, thank you
Chat,
everybody.
you don't want to stay engaged with us while we determine our schedule.
You don't want to stay for a little longer than the hour and a half you've been watching this
Right.
video?
Oh
My
my
favorite
God.
part of the
crazy.
stream is when they talked about schedules for a
A
long,
long time.
Long time.
But
so
now you have a little peek behind the curtains. It's
that was never a
We're
curtain to begin
boring.
with.
We're
fucking mess
fucking
back here.
boring.
If most like creative content productions involving people being live is a curtain show, we're like a nudist beach. It's just it all hangs out. We don't give a fuck
That's
who
true.
sees what.
I kind of take pride in that.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. Being this small is
Yeah.
it's very
Look
easy to
at
do that
my
kind of thing.
balls.
Yeah, exactly.
Ew.
Look at our metaphorical scheduling balls.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we won't be back with Dead Space next Wednesday, maybe next Thursday. We'll work that out later, but for sure we'll be back on Monday, I think, with more Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes, and if we're not going to be back with Dead Space on Wednesday, I might be doing some Transformer stuff on Wednesday.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
To if maybe we swap spots, because I was going to stream on Thursday doing some Transformer stuff, but if instead, well, we might swap, so Dead Space on Thursday and then Transformers on Wednesday. I basically want to do a bunch of unboxings, just hang out, chat with stream, and unbox a bunch of stuff, because I'm grinding through what Hasbro has sent me, and I'm kind of behind schedule with all the travel and stuff.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this Wednesday. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and we'll see you on Monday, if not sooner than that. Bye.
Later,
everybody.
fuckers.
Bye.